Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. There are two players that Arsenal are trying to sign in Germany, according to Bild.com, the biggest publication in Germany, and that is Musa Diaby and Julian Brandt. We're going to be diving into those stories. We're going to be diving into the article from Bild.com. It looks like Musa Diaby is a player that Arsenal have tracked for 2 years. According to Fabrizio Romano, they've done some groundwork, but right now we are in talks with his agent to try to get the deal done. But also Julian Brandt on the other side, he did pick up an injury late, I think earlier on in the season. It's been very, very dramatically very good for Borussia Dortmund. Arsenal still want to get the deal done, although he still has an injury, and this could be the last time Borussia Dortmund have to cash in on the German international. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. I want your thoughts, I want your opinions. Would you like Musa Diaby to come in, at Arsenal? We have so many left wingers actually. You have Martinelli, Smith-Rowe, Trossard, all in that position. Would you love Musa Diaby to be the newest member of this Arsenal left-hand side attack? I would want your thoughts. I want your opinions. What do you think about Julian Brandt? Now, I understand. A couple of you people told me you don't understand who Julian Brandt is. We're going to be diving into who Julian Brandt is in this video and trying to understand why Arsenal actually want to sign him. Let's get this video to 400 likes. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Later in the evening, we'll be live for another episode of the Arsenal Total Access, so make sure you watch that as well. It's very important if you turn on those notification bells as well. Actually, it will help you know when we go live every single time. Now, let's get into the stories. First and foremost, the Bild are claiming that Arsenal are in contact with the representatives of Musa Diaby. We are trying to sign Musa Diaby from Germany club Bayer Leverkusen. We tried to sign Musa Diaby in the summer. Now, the deal didn't actually go through because they decided to sign a new deal with Bayer Leverkusen and stay. I think it was the best decision for the player and the club. They both decided and agreed that Musa Diaby should stay for at least another season, and if it actually works out very well, if everything goes to plan, then he can move in the summer. Now, of course, there's so many other talents in this Bayer Leverkusen team, and I would like Arsenal to focus on Jeremy Frimpong. I would like Arsenal to look at the likes of Florian Wirtz, but you can't neglect the fact that Musa Diaby has been one of the top wingers in the world of football in the last two seasons. This season, I think it's actually dropped a little bit when it comes to numbers, but I've looked at him. I've watched a few Bundesliga games, I think 1 or 2. That's not even a few. That is very, very late on Bundesliga football. And I've seen him and Jeremy Frimpong playing very, very good football. Now, do I think that Arsenal should go and splash the cash on Musa Diaby? That is a very different scenario, and that's a very different question. But what I understand is that Fabrizio Romano has also revealed that Arsenal have been interested in Bayer Leverkusen winger Musa Diaby for 2 years now. With another journalist claiming that the Gunners have begun talks over his signing, all right? So, look, I think this is a very, very big characteristic of Mikel Arteta and Edu. They always track players before they sign them. They always look at players for quite a period of time, an extended period of time, before we sign them. Now, we wanted Rafinha in the summer. Rafinha is a right winger. He's not a left winger. I think you could use him inverted if you decided to, but he's more of a right winger, and we know him in that regard. We also tried to sign Pedro Neto and a couple of other players that we were trying to sign. But one of the big names we tried to sign in the summer was Musa Diaby. And as far as I remember, Leverkusen were asking for around 70 to 80 million pounds. Arsenal were never going to pay that. I think our valuation of the player was around 60 million, by then, right? But now, in this summer, I think his contract is still safe. It runs down, I think, in around 2026. So Arsenal are not going to be taking any advantages of a short-term contract or running down contracts or anything like that. If we're going to sign him, we're going to sign him for some very good money. Now, this one is a very difficult one for me. Very difficult one. I like Musa Diaby as a player very much, but I also like Martinelli and I like Trossard very much. And I think Arsenal's problems and Arsenal's focus and priority should be very far away from a left winger in the summer. And you had me right. Very far away from a left winger, very far away from a winger in the summer. If you're going to sign a winger, it should be a player who's going to back up, a player who's going to back up, maybe Saka. Maybe, and I'm only saying maybe, but would you sign Musa Diaby to back up Bukayo Saka? Musa Diaby would cost us around 60 to 70 million. I think that would be extravagant, in my opinion. I think that would be too much. Although I'm talking about the quality, we always talk about raising the levels. But Musa Diaby to back up Bukayo Saka, that's kind of a wastage of money. I think you would go 40 million for a player around 40 million for a player around 50 million to back up Partey, just to make sure that to back up Saka, actually, just to make sure that when you go in the UEFA Champions League and you have all these games coming in every single week and you have a lot of competition, to play for and to play in, then you have the right amount of cover. So Musa Diaby, he's a talented guy. There is no question about that. He's a really, really talented guy. And the fact that Arsenal have looked at him for 2 years, it means something could be happening in the summer. Now, I'm not saying it will sign for us. I'm not saying Arsenal will get it done all the way, because Fabrizio says again that there's so many clubs that are looking at him. There's so many clubs that are actually monitoring Musa Diaby. He's the guy that is the shortest guy in the picture. If you do not know Musa Diaby, the shortest guy in the picture on your screen. All right. So I think there will be competition for him. I think he's one of those top talents. Him, Kavica Kvaratskhelia, and Martinelli. There could be the three, and maybe Vinicius Junior, of course. There could be the four top left wingers in the world. They've been very consistent, they've been very good, and they're still very, very young, and their talent is still very, very promising as well. So how much should Arsenal splash on this one? I think, to be honest, I will be okay if Arsenal go in for Musa Diaby and we splashed around 50 million. If it is 50 million, I'll take him. He's played as a left winger, he's played as a right winger, he's also played down through the middle as well. Now, I don't think it's one where we would see him, play down through the middle. I think it's one where if he comes in, he's going to be a backup for Bukayo Saka. That kind of inverted, his left foot is actually very, very good. The previous weekend, when Manchester United lost 7-0, I was watching that game alongside Bayer Leverkusen. I think Bayer Leverkusen were playing Berlin. I think they were playing Hertha Berlin, right? And he played on that right-hand side as an inverted winger. He played where Saka plays with his left foot. He's purely a left footer, but he can also play there, right? So if that's what we're trying to do, I think that would be absolutely very good. That would be absolutely massive. But why see this happen is still very, very far away. I think we will have competition. I think it will be a very, very difficult deal. But I won't be surprised if Arsenal eventually walk in and sign Musa Diaby. He's a player that we've looked at for quite some time. And his numbers as well are actually not that bad. You look at the consistency that he has had over the years, 2019, 2020, 28 games and 10 goal involvements. That is 5 goals and 5 assists. That was purely good. And then the next season after that, 2020, 2021, he actually massively upgraded on the number of games he played and also upgraded on the goal involvements. 10 goals, 10 assists actually, and 4 goals, right? Then last season, which was actually the best season in his life, 13 goals, 12 assists in 32 games. This season already, 12 goal contributions, 8 goals, and 4 assists in 23 games. So what I like about him, those similarities with Bukayo Saka, because you look at Saka. Saka's best game attributes is goals and assists. He's one of those players at Arsenal, actually in the whole world, that are balancing between scoring goals and creating chances for other players. Saka this season has created 9 assists and he's actually scored 10 goals. Okay, so those are 19 goal contributions. But you look at Musa Diaby last season, he managed 13 goals and 12 assists. So that means you're bringing a player who is very, very similar, very identical to, Bukayo Saka. A player would be, happy to do what Saka does. And that means Saka won't be missed, probably. I think we would miss Saka any day, every day, if he was out of the starting lineup. We are used to watching him. The players are used to playing with him. But if you brought in a Musa Diaby, maybe we could get some kind of, deficit back. Especially no. I think Saka will stay. I don't think Saka will sign for another club. But going into the UEFA Champions League, that position needs someone to back him up. And Musa Diaby could be the right guy. I want your thoughts about Musa Diaby. I know most of you have actually watched him. We didn't get the opportunity to watch him at the World Cup because he picked up an injury, I think, before the World Cup. And that was a total waste of an opportunity. I wanted us to see him at the World Cup, understand what he's all about, because the German Bundesliga is more like the Dutch league and the French league are. When players come from there, they're not given the respect, they're not given the credit they deserve, because everybody says the German Bundesliga is a farmers league, the German Bundesliga is a weak league. But I'm telling you this boy is a real deal. This boy is a real talent, and if he ever signs for a big club, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, you will see the real deal in him. In Musa Diaby. He's a very, very good player. Now, according to Bild as well, they were the first person, the first people to break the story on this guy, Julian Brandt. Still, the Bild are saying that Arsenal are building up a move to sign Julian Brandt, although Tottenham Hotspur have now joined the rest. The story has been picked up by a couple of other outlets as well, but I want us to talk about Julian Brandt as a player, because most of you told me you don't understand who Julian Brandt is, and that's what I want us to talk about. Now, Julian Brandt is a player that predominantly played on the left-hand side as a winger for Bayer Leverkusen, but when he signed for Borussia Dortmund, he was converted into a number 10. And actually, I was watching one of his interviews way back in the day when we were still interested in him. Actually, we are still interested in him. But when we were first linked with Julian Brandt, one of his interviews actually said that he would love to play more as a number 10 rather than as a left winger. That's what that is what he actually said. Now the Bild have actually said that Arsenal are building up a move to sign Julian Brandt. He's 26 years of age. His contract runs down in 2024, and this could be a massive opportunity. One, for Arsenal to get him through the door, but also for Borussia Dortmund to get some good money out of him. Now this season has been absolutely sensational. Before picking up that injury in the Chelsea game, actually in the return leg, he's been absolutely sensational for Chelsea, and his numbers are what actually amuse me, right? His numbers are what really, really attracted me to him as a player. I love him, but his numbers are absolutely sick as well. So this season for Borussia Dortmund, 8 goals and 4 assists. Last season, 9 goals and 8 assists. The season before that, 3 goals, 2 assists. And the season before that, 3 goals and 7 assists. So when I talk about Ike Gundogan, when I talk about Bernardo Silva, there is that kind of extra quality that I talk about that, when it comes to that Manchester City squad. And when I talk about Xhaka, alongside Odegaard and alongside Thomas Partey, there is that lack of quality that I always talk about. Now, I want you to focus on that chance that Xhaka created for himself and he missed in that Fulham game. That is where I would every single day sign Julian Brandt. And when we sign Julian Brandt, probably doesn't overtake Xhaka right away, because Xhaka is a very, very important member of this Arsenal squad. But the next 2 years, Julian Brandt would be a very integral player in this Arsenal side. Now, one of the things I like about him, apart from the creativity and apart from his ability to score goals, is the work rate, right? And I know Mikel Arteta as one of the best managers in the world right now. He's never going to sign a player whose work rate has questions. He's never going to sign a player who has problems with with dealing with the pressing and everything. So his combination, Julian Brandt and Jude Bellingham, has purely been class at Borussia Dortmund. And for me, if you ask me, this is the right time for him to move on. I don't think he's going to get that kind of money at Borussia Dortmund. I don't think he's going to win things at Borussia Dortmund. And if you look at him and Arsenal, purely compatible, right? He comes in, he's going to be 27 very, very soon. I think he was born in 1997. He's going to be 27 very, very soon, all right? So it's going to be 27. You need that kind of maturity. He's played with Borussia Dortmund for 4 good years in the UEFA Champions League. We will need that. We will need that kind of experience. But his ability to play with players like Martin Odegaard, his ability to play with players like Martinelli, Leandro Trossard, and the likes of Gabriel Jesus is what I like. And I think he can be that. And I think it's going to be a very, very important player if Arsenal can actually get the deal done. So Spurs want him, but I don't think Spurs would steal Julian Brandt if Arsenal was serious. I don't think Spurs would actually take him off our hands. I really don't. I don't think they have the guts. I don't think they're the better club than Arsenal. Just that, right? Just that. So let's wait and see where these two actually are going to end. Can they end up at Arsenal? Will we get the deals done? And which players would you like Arsenal to sign? I like Jude Bellingham a lot, but we never signed Jude Bellingham. I like Jeremy Frimpong, but Jeremy Frimpong plays more as a right midfielder and a right back. I don't think Arsenal are trying to find a right back in this summer. So it's highly likely that Julian Brandt and Musa Diaby are the two players that will be signing come this summer, or will be trying to sign come this summer. Now, of course, catch me every single day on the on Cossy's Arsenal podcast on YouTube every single day, every morning, 11 to noon. We have that morning show, the Arsenal morning drive, and of course, in the evening we have the Arsenal Total Access show where we'll be talking about everything Arsenal, and you can call in and have your opinions and have your says as well. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you right in the next one.